Welcome to Aussie Finance Chronicles, where money, history, and power collide right here down under. This isn't your typical global finance channel. We offer a deep dive into Australian financial history and personal finance, told entirely through the lessons of the Aussies who paved the way. We examine major local events from the gold rushes to the superannuation system to understand the forces of capital, debt, and systemic control. Here, you'll learn how wealth is built and lost by studying the patterns of the past. History doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. By understanding our continent's failures and power plays, you can sharpen your financial sovereignty, master your money mindset, and avoid the traps that took down local empires. Our mission is simple: to ensure every Aussie is equipped with the knowledge to thrive financially. Look at this land. Over 7.7 million square kilometers of vast, rugged outback. These aren't just rural plains. This is an entire continent, defined by its immense scale, sparse population, and the tyranny of distance. And in this vastness, every 2 minutes, an aircraft takes to the sky on a mission to save a life. The service fee for the patient, zero. This is the story of one of the world's largest, most complex, and most expensive charitable operations. The Royal Flying Doctor Service. The scale of the RFDS is staggering. More than 77 aircraft, 23 bases, and over 1,400 dedicated staff, handling more than 300,000 patient contacts every single year. This brings us to the central financial question of our episode. How has a free service of this magnitude survived for over 90 years, weathering political shifts, economic crises, and volatile fuel prices, without ever sending a bill to the people it rescues? Today, we're going to unlock the financial secrets of the RFDS. We'll break it down into 3 key parts. First, we'll explore its ingenious foundation, looking at the early financing and game-changing technology that got it off the ground. Second, we'll dissect its operational dual model, a brilliant mix of government contracts and public generosity. And finally, we'll look at its future strategies, from digitalization to managing capital costs. Let's get into it. The story begins with one man's vision, Reverend John Flynn. Working with the Australian Inland Mission, Flynn didn't just see a need for healthcare. He saw a system. His genius wasn't just about sending doctors into the bush. It was about empowering local communities, inspiring them to organize, and teaching them how to fund the very services they needed. He was a master of both compassion and capital. But a vision needs seed money. Flynn had to find the first £10,000 to get started. He brilliantly united the elite and the public by framing the service as a national, non-profit mission for all Australians. Critical early investments came from industrialists like H.V. Mackay, the man behind the Harpic brand. This initial capital injection proved that the idea was not just a dream but a viable financial enterprise. However, doctors are useless if you can't reach them. Communication was the financial lifeblood of the early service. This is where Alfred Traeger's pedal-powered radio comes in. It was a technological miracle, but it wasn't free. The pedal radio, a form of early Tele-Health, dramatically cut the cost of summoning a doctor by eliminating the need for someone to ride 4 days to the nearest town. We see stories of farming families pooling their scarce resources, fundraising just to afford the installation of one of these life-saving devices. It was an investment in survival. In the early days, buying an aircraft was an impossible capital expense. So, Flynn made a shrewd financial decision. He wouldn't buy, he would lease. The service partnered with emerging aviation companies like the Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Services, or Qantas as we know it today, to lease both planes and pilots. The first aircraft, named Victory, was secured through this model, allowing the service to launch without crippling debt and mitigating immense financial risk. Then, the Great Depression hit. The 1930s economic collapse devastated budgets. Government aid dwindled, but as official support faltered, public support surged. People gave what little they had. This crisis also led to a crucial structural change: the decentralization of the RFDS into state-based sections. This gave each state branch financial autonomy, empowering them to raise their own funds and negotiate directly with their local governments. creating a more resilient, diversified financial base. After World War II, the concept of the welfare state took hold in Australia. The Commonwealth government began providing regular, institutionalized funding to the RFDS. These subsidies were a game changer, covering a significant portion of operational costs like salaries and fuel, typically around 40 to 50%. This federal support provided a stable floor for the service's annual budget. But here's the crucial distinction. Government funds covered operations, not capital. The big decayed items, the planes themselves, and the sophisticated medical equipment inside were not part of the deal. Those massive expenditures had to be funded another way. For example, a campaign to purchase a new Pilatus PC-12 aircraft, which can cost up to $10 million, relies almost entirely on public fundraising and corporate donations. The government keeps the lights on, but the community buys the planes. This is where the financial power of public trust comes in. The RFDS is consistently ranked as Australia's most trusted charity, and for good reason. Millions of small, individual donations from everyday Aussies form a constant stream of revenue. And then there is the Blue Heart Club, a community of supporters who have chosen to leave a gift to the RFDS in their will. These bequests provide enormous, long-term financial stability, securing the future of the service for generations to come. There's another quiet, steady income stream that's vital to the RFDS's finances. Inter-hospital transfers. State governments contract the RFDs to move patients between regional and city hospitals. This is an emergency Outback rescue. It's a scheduled, paid service. The reliable revenue from these contracts effectively provides a hidden subsidy for the more unpredictable and unfunded emergency work in the bush. It's a brilliant piece of financial cross-ups. By the 1990s, the service focused on efficiency. A key strategy was standardizing the fleet, primarily moving to the highly efficient Pilatus PC-12 aircraft. Having a uniform fleet dramatically reduced costs for maintenance, pilot training, and spare parts inventory. This wasn't just an operational upgrade. It was a masterful stroke of financial management. As one aviation finance expert notes, this level of fleet standardization in a non-profit is world-class, maximizing every dollar donated. As Vulcan Temis said, being Australian is a privilege. Being Australian is dominating a great continent. Being Australian is a great power. The RFDS embodies this. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this valuable, please consider subscribing, sharing this video, and hitting that bell icon. Every comment and idea you share helps us create better content for our great Australian community. If you haven't subscribed yet, brother, please do. I'll continue to be here with you, exploring these fascinating financial topics. I am, like you, a fortunate child of this great Australia. That's why a large portion of the revenue from this video is dedicated to supporting children in need and those facing illness. If you want to know more about who I am, you can follow me and check out my YouTube channel from my main page. It's wonderful to be here with you. I am proud to share this financial knowledge with all my valued Australian brothers and sisters. Let's work together for a stronger, more industrious, and more honorable Australia by learning our history in detail. Thank you for being here. Welcome back to Aussie Finance Chronicles, where money, history, and power collide right here, down under. Today, we're dissecting an Australian icon, not just for its medical heroics, but for its incredible financial resilience. The Royal Flying Doctor Service. How does an organization that flies into the world's most remote and dangerous locations not only survive, but thrive for nearly a century? The answer is a masterclass in financial strategy. From the year 2000, the game changed. The arrival of the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profits Commission, the ACNC, brought a new era of transparency. For the RFDS, this meant every dollar had to be accounted for like never before. Their annual reports became public documents, detailing exactly how funds were split between life-saving operations and the administrative costs needed to keep the planes in the air. This wasn't just bureaucracy. It was about building unbreakable public trust. But here is a crucial lesson they mastered early on. Avoiding the government funding trap. Relying solely on Canberra is a risky game. Political winds change, budgets get slashed, and essential services can be left stranded. That's why the RFDS strategically aims to keep its donor income at around 30%. This isn't just about money, it's about independence. It ensures that no matter who is in power, the flying doctors can continue their mission, guided by need, not politics. This diverse income stream is the financial bedrock that guarantees their autonomy. Then, the RFDs evolved. It was no longer just about emergency flights. They expanded into primary health care, launching mobile GP clinics, dental vans, and mental health services into the bush. This was a brilliant move, both for community health and for the balance sheet. These services were often funded through separate federal programs, like the primary health networks. This created a new, dedicated funding channel, allowing them to expand their impact without draining resources from their critical emergency operations. It was diversification in action. Now, let's talk about risk. Flying state-of-the-art aircraft into dusty, unpredictable outback airstrips is an insurer's nightmare. The costs for insurance and legal coverage are astronomical. So, how did the RFDs manage this? Instead of just paying massive premiums, they took control. They invested in their own world-class engineering hubs and pilot training facilities. By becoming the absolute best in the business at maintenance and safety, they actively reduced their risk profile. This proactive approach didn't just save lives. It saved millions in operational costs, proving that sometimes the best financial move is an investment in excellence. And you can't talk about the RFDS's finances without mentioning their powerful corporate partnerships. Giants like Qantas, Wesfarmers, and the big banks have been longtime supporters. But these partnerships are rarely about just handing over a blank check. They are strategic alliances. A corporate sponsor might fund the construction of a new remote base or finance the purchase of a new aircraft. These contributions are targeted for major capital projects, freeing up donor and government funds for the day-to-day, life-saving work. It's a smart way to fund growth without compromising core services. Then, around 2015, the digital revolution arrived in the Outback. High-speed satellite internet wasn't just a luxury. It was a financial game-changer. The rise of Tele-Health allowed RFDS doctors to diagnose and treat hundreds of patients remotely. Think about the savings. Instead of chartering a multi-million-dollar aircraft for a non-critical case, a specialist could conduct a consultation from a city hospital. This leap in technology created incredible cost efficiencies, allowing them to stretch every dollar further and reach more people than ever before. The RFDS also became masters of data. They meticulously collected and analyzed information on service demand, health outcomes, and geographic inequality. This wasn't just for internal reports. This hard data became their most powerful negotiating tool with the government. Armed with indisputable evidence of their impact, they were able to secure 10-year strategic agreements. These long-term contracts provided a level of financial stability most charities can only dream of, allowing them to plan for the future with confidence. But the future brings new challenges, namely the need to modernize the fleet. The trusty Pilatus PC-12s, the workhorses of the Outback, are aging. The next generation is the jet-age faster, more capable aircraft like the PC-24. But progress comes at a price. A single medical jet can cost over $10 million. This puts immense pressure on their fundraising campaigns. It's a constant, high-stakes battle to secure the capital needed to keep their fleet at the cutting edge of aeromedical care. To meet these massive costs, the RFDS is looking beyond traditional fundraising. They are exploring innovative models like social impact bonds. The idea is to attract private investors who fund a project upfront. If the project successfully delivers social outcomes like reduced hospitalization rates in a remote community, the government provides a return to the investors. It's a cutting-edge strategy that frames social good as a tangible, investable asset. It's about convincing capital that saving lives can also be a sound investment. And let's not forget the RFDS's local economic impact. An RFDS base in a small outback town is more than a clinic. It's an economic engine. It creates jobs for locals, from pilots and nurses to mechanics and admin staff. They use local contractors and suppliers, injecting vital cash into regional economies. The RFDS isn't just a cost on the national balance sheet. It's an investment that pays dividends, strengthening the very communities it serves. Ultimately, the value of the RFDS transcends dollars and cents. It's woven into the fabric of our national identity. It's on our $20 bill for a reason. This profound cultural significance is its ultimate financial safeguard. In times of crisis, the Australian people and our politicians will always rally to support it. This emotional connection is an asset more powerful than any balance sheet. So, the financial secret of the Royal Flying Doctor Service isn't a single formula. It's a powerful trifecta. Stable government funding for operations, massive public donations for capital growth, and a diversified cash flow strengthened by government contracts and corporate partnerships. It's a model that countries like Canada, Brazil, and Russia could learn from. This lifeline keeps flying because we, as Australians, believe that life should never be limited by distance. Thank you for joining us on Aussie Finance Chronicles. Being here with you, my fellow Australians, sharing these insights to build a stronger nation is an absolute privilege. If you found value in this, please subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. Every comment and share helps us create more content like this. A portion of the revenue from this channel goes towards supporting children and those in need. Let's learn from our history to build a more prosperous and honorable Australia for all. Thanks for watching.
Now no need to rush on down. Move that beat, feel that sound right here in our town. Easy, now no need to rush on down. Move that beat, feel that sound right here in our town. When you step and spin around, cause I hear the talk all over town, yeah. When you step and spin around, cause I hear the talk all over town, yeah. Now no need to fret or frown, just groove so smooth, let your good times resound. Cool and steady, you got a style that's profound. Never knew you could make that saxophone astound. Easy, now no need to rush on down. Let the rhythm guide you all around. And as strong and so tall, one touch makes the people heed your call. Hot emoji, give you very all. You're not small, you stand up, my tall. That vibe, it lingers in my mind, yeah. The sweet sensation, playing back in kind, yeah. Makes me sway now, makes my whole body play now. And I'm not saying trouble, when you're ready, come my way. Now when you hit that, no teasing with a little, just play with a wiggle when you take along, telling you to hit that. No teasing with a little, just stay with a wiggle when you take along, feeling that groove so smooth, let your good times resound. Easy, now no need to rush on down. Easy, now no need to rush on down. Move that beat, feel that sound right here in our town. Easy, now no need to rush on down. Move that beat, feel that sound right here in our town.